All right, my friends. Perfect timing. Right when I go live, the horn start hockey. Hey, we're at Brea Junior High. What I understand is that we have the president of the California Teachers Association who's going to come here today. Now, this isn't him right here, but these are the members. This is the footage of one of the members of the California Teachers Association, which is obviously a teachers union, who had no problem going to the Super Bowl without a mask. And then, of course, we have a number of other celebrities and politicians that were more than happy to not wear a mask at the indoor event that they were at, also known as the Super Bowl. But for the least vulnerable, for the children who are not getting hospitalized and are not vulnerable to the disease as much as the older people you saw on that flyer, they are demanding that they be masked. So the teachers unions are really one of the biggest enemies to our children's health. In addition, of course, to the governor and some of the other politicians that we have here in California and in other blue states. And so what's happening here today is that we have a member of the California Teachers Association. What I understood his name is the president. I already forgot his name. What's Toby?
California Teachers Association.
Toby something. What's Toby's last name? Boyd. Boyd. Toby. Oh, Toby Boyd. Our kids are not bargaining chips. Stop holding the kids hostage. Absolutely. So yeah, they have no problem not wearing a mask at the Super Bowl, not wearing a mask at other events, at the restaurant, walking in when they're telling other people to be masked up. That is an indoor place. Just like they do in restaurants where you walk in with a mask on, but then when you sit down and take your mask off, why can't the kids take their mask off once they get seated? Because apparently below 4 or 5 feet, the virus doesn't get you sick and doesn't cause people to catch the COVID. And so at least that, right? Because that's what's being allowed. But here in California, they've just lifted the mask mandates for everybody, but for the least vulnerable and the most abused and the people that the children have been the most affected by the masking mandates and all the other mandates that went into effect back early on in this pandemic, which again, Johns Hopkins also came up with a study that said none of those things worked. None of those things kept people, not only children, but adults. None of those things kept adults from catching the COVID. You were going to catch it regardless of the mask you were wearing, regardless of the distancing you had, regardless of you doing only Zoom calls. None of that helped. People that were indoors caught it all the time. When you look at the states that were the most affected by COVID, they're all the blue states that had the most strenuous mandates and lockdowns. Those are the ones that had very high levels of people not only catching it, but also dying of it. We see today people that are double masking, that have multiple vaccines. They're all catching it still to this day, even though you were told by the president himself, which I hesitate to call him a president, but that guy that's in the White House, he told you back early on that if you got the vaccine, you wouldn't catch it. And then, of course, a couple days later, he goes, okay, well, maybe you can catch it. You can catch it, but you won't be hospitalized. So this is maddening. I'm going to see, do you want to tell people who you are while you're here?
Yeah, my name is Justin Aguirre, and I'm here to end these mandates on these kids that are being forced to wear masks in school. They're being segregated in every single district. It's not just one district thing, or it's definitely a bipartisan issue. But we just need to get these masks off these kids, and that's why we are here. It's horrifying just seeing them with these masks on. Like you were saying, about Joe Biden, he wants to say one thing and then turn around and tell you to, hopefully you survive this dark and horrible winter, but we are all still here and we are going nowhere.
How involved in politics and school boards were you before all this started?
I was not involved at all. My oldest is a 7-year-old first grader. Everything came knocking at our door. And I think that goes for a lot of people. You ask people at my work, they said that they are being forced into this. And so they're being forced to open their eyes. They're being forced, with all this stuff being presented to them But I got involved last year, summertime, once my oldest went into first grade. And ever since then, it's a fight that's not going to go away. It's not going to go away, and we need people out here. We need the support, and yeah.
What I talk about all the time is that early on, I mean, in my entire life, I voted for the president and maybe a congressman and a senator. And then I'd go down and say either somebody that was an incumbent, if it was a nonpartisan position, I would just vote. I mean, it looks like it's been going okay so far, so why not vote for that person? Maybe the years that I've been here in the Placentia Urban School District, I know for sure, without a doubt, I probably voted for Buck and Freeman, who are the worst. We're finding out now that they could not run a lemonade stand. They are some of the most incompetent people that we've ever seen in our life. And then we voted in another woman by the name of Marilyn Anderson, who turns out is nothing of what she said she was going to be. So we are just as, I'll say me, I'm just as much to blame as anybody in voting some of these people in. But this is where everything's beginning to change. We're realizing that the fight actually starts in our own backyard. Would you be able to say the same? Or
yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I've been hearing now, I mean, obviously what we're seeing is the local level, it has been infiltrated. They have taken control of our school district and school boards. And with that being said, that is the lowest form of politicians that you can enter. This is the first entrance of getting involved, which is your school board or mayor or something. But yes, it is like you just said, you know, to ditto off of what you said, we possibly voted for these people, whether it was Metcalf in the past, whether it was Buck, whether it was Freeman, who's been here for 30 plus years. I'm 32 years old, and she's been running the show for as long as I've been born. And it is time to take them out.
Take them out politically.
Yes, take them out politically. We are in a campaign season, 2022. From the bottom of the school boards all the way up top to our governor. Everybody needs to be involved. Everybody needs to investigate on their own and see what's happening. Step out there.
You know what I love seeing? I love seeing a dad out here, that I'm not the only one. We always hear about the mama bears that are out there. And if we look behind us, I think you and I are the only men here. And so what I want to do is call upon the men that may be seeing this or watching this is at the school board meeting on March 8th. There's the next school board meeting. I want to see, if not an equal number of men to women, but I would like to see more men than women there, because our voices need to be heard too. We love our children. We care about what's happening to our children. We care about what's happening in the crime in our community, because the crime is a direct reflection of the poor education that our children are getting. If you were to look at them and poll the men in prison, you would hear that most of them don't have the ability to read and write and do math. And they have a very low competency level, and that is what is filling up our jails is men and women, I am sure, of the uneducated. And so the education is a huge part of what's happening in our world. One last thing you have to say about anything?
No, yeah, just to go back off what you were saying about the men. Yes, I mean, it does. I'm not saying I don't know what's going on with your guys' jobs, what your guys' priorities are, but if you have time, get down here. There's always something going on. There's always a need of help, whether it's your own school district or whether it's your surrounding community.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it. Let me see if I can find one of these moms that are out here. I know we have a few out here. Let me see. This mic should come all the way over here. Can I get anybody? Can I get somebody to talk over here a little bit about what's going on here? Anybody in particular? Anybody that like being on camera? We need somebody to talk over here. All right, come on over. Just a little bit closer to the camera. All right, I gave them a little bit of background. I've given them a little background about what's going on here, but do you want to talk about why you're here and what it is you're hoping to achieve?
We're here because we want our choices back for our own kids. We don't want the government or the school board to tell us what to do. We don't co-parent.
We don't co-parent with the government. Yes, absolutely. What about you?
We just feel it's absolute hypocrisy that's going on. We all see it. We all know it. The CDC has come out and said masks don't work. We don't understand why we keep doing this to the kids. The kids are not the scapegoats for the adults. You know, when in history has that happened?
Never. The least vulnerable are the ones we continue to mask. It is really, and we could go to a restaurant and sit down and take our mask off. We've been able to do that for a long time. Why can't the kids sit down and take their mask off?
You don't round the wagons. You don't round the wagons and put the kids on the outside. You put the kids on the inside. Come on.
Yep. It's not our kids' job to make the adults feel safe, and we're done. We're done with this.
And so the reason we're here is we know, or we've heard that the president or some board member, Toby Boyd, is supposed to be here to do something. He's the president of the California Teachers Association, and so we want him. And we know that the members of the Teachers Association, they all feel free to go indoors without a mask. They go to the Super Bowl. They go to all kinds of events. Do we know if he's arrived yet, or anybody have any intel on him?
It sounds like he has arrived, and he's going to leave here at about 10:45. That's what we know right now, but we're not sure.
All right. Any last words from anybody? Yep.
No, I mean, just the fact that if the emergency's over, our governor and everybody has shown us that it's over, we're done.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, just to point out the fact and why we're here specifically for Toby is that it sounds like Governor Newsom did pass the buck and said, this is why I'm not unmasking the kids. It's not up to me. It's up to the California Teachers Union. This is what they want. Association, sorry, California Teachers Association. So we're here to let them know that we're not okay with this. And if it's their responsibility to unmask the kids, then they need to show up for them.
So glad you said that, because I was just going to respond to our governor. I can't even say that. It's hard to even say anybody that has to do with anybody of leadership here, because they're not leaders. What kind of leader are you saying? Well, the guy over there says that we needed the teachers. When you know the truth, Yeah. There it is. All right. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. All righty. Take care. Yeah, this is just craziness, so that we continue to even the first thing, we had our chance to get rid of the governor, and I don't know what happened. I kind of know what happened, but of course, we don't have the proof necessary right now to say that that there was anything going on with the election. But there is no reason why Governor Newsom should still be our governor. Sorry for my word salad there and trying to get around saying something, but my videos get taken off of all the social media because of things that I say on here. So I guess it doesn't matter that we know that there was some shenanigans that went on in the last in the recall election. That there is we saw here in the Yorba Linda area, we saw a 70 some odd percent, I forget what it was, 72%, I believe it was, of the voters voted to recall Gavin Newsom. I don't believe that in some of these other cities that there wasn't the very same thing. We saw what was coming. We saw what he was doing, and we simply had to vote that governor out. And because we did not, we are stuck now with all the things that are coming down the pike because of his desire to be a dictator to the state. He can't. I mean, if you were just to look around at what's happening at the other states and the mask mandates that have been lifted. Everything that's been lifted in other states, and yet here we are still masking our kids in the school district. We see that Florida unmasked their kids long ago, probably over a year ago. You hear things like in, I forget what city it was, but it's in either New Hampshire or New Jersey, somewhere on the East Coast, where they were able to show that once they unmasked the kids, the grades went up by 70%. And these are things that you can see. These are validated by studies, and yet the media continues to ignore these facts. They ignore the things that are coming out of Israel, the studies that show that the natural immunity is much stronger than the vaccine, and somewhere in the area of 27% stronger, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just stronger. Let me just stick with that. And we see this coming out of not only Israel, but other studies. Why is the United States supposedly one of the strongest, most advanced countries on the planet? We are not doing any of the studies, right? We have the CDC blocking information because they believe that American citizens have the ability to process and use the information to protect ourselves, that we can't look at something and take and use common sense to determine whether it is we need to wear a mask or whether or not we take a vaccine or not. But here we had the CDC in a report coming out yesterday that they were not releasing data and information because they were afraid that people would not get the vaccine. What is it about this vaccine that makes it something that they think is going to solve all of our problems? It isn't going to solve all our problems. Never are they going to get 100% of the people, the community in our country to take that vaccine. So we have to stand out here. We have, one more time, we have a meeting coming up in Novo Cafe in Westlake Village, where we have Leandra who's going to speak, Leandra Blades, who's with our school board mayor. I know it's a little ways away for those of you in Orange County, but we have some great guests going to be coming there. We have Alex Mayer, who is with the John F. Kennedy Foundation. She's the president of the California chapter. She will be speaking on vaccines and vaccine mandates. Leandro will be talking about, what's important to know about school boards and getting like-minded people, like a community, into the school board and onto the school board and getting them voted and flipping some of these school boards. I will be speaking on some of the stuff that I've discovered in regard to bonds and insurance, liability insurance with these school boards and school districts. And I'm sure we're going to have a couple other speakers there that you're going to want to see. So that's on March 14th. I didn't give you the date. March 14th, Novo Cafe. Go to CaliforniaParentAlliance.org and subscribe. That way you get notifications as to when things are happening and where to be and when to be there. And then we have the school board meeting here in the Placentia Urban School District. Urban School District. Their next school board meeting is March 8th. So make sure and be there. I always tell people, you want to be there and you want to bring 5 people with you. The last couple of ones have been outdoors, so there's plenty of room. It's not like you're going to get locked out of the building because the last few meetings have been outdoors. I don't believe anything is going to be different on the March 8th. I believe it'll probably be outside because I'm not sure that they're going to. You have the tyrant, Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman, who they want to stick with their charade of masking, and so they may say, hey, it's too dangerous to have it on the inside, so we're going to have it outdoors. So I'm just saying that it's probably going to be outdoors. What that means is that everybody should show up. We could fill an entire parking lot with people and be able to show the school board and the district what the majority of the parents want from their school board and for our children. If you just please show up and be there. It looks like everybody's kind of dwindling down here. So I just want to make sure and bring this to you. This is an awesome time to be an American, to show your how patriotic you are and what's right. And what it is that we need to do to make some changes in our government. All right, my friends, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.